we'll be doing the rest of that area later, but this makes us double back, so I might as well do this now. So these kind of weird frog thingies, or like manta ray frogs, have that tongue attack and they can jump at you and stuff. They're not too dangerous. If I can flip one over, or clip him through the world, whatever, that's fine. Did I unequip my heal spell? I guess I did. Well, that's short-sighted of me. Oh, here's another one of these. Again, if you wait until later, this tree will be moved out of the way, and you can walk past it anyway. Let's go ahead and kill it. Now, I'm going to be running into an enemy here that you're probably supposed to be introduced back at that other area before you get to this path. Let's go ahead and activate him. What's this? Ring ahead. That's true. So there you can see there's a... looks like a statue or a suit of armor lying on the ground. And we get close enough, we can activate him. If you go any closer, then a bunch of those red dudes will come at us from the cliff. Yeah, I definitely unequipped my heal spell. Now, these guys are pretty slow. What I want him to do is to attack, so that I can kind of get a couple hits in. They have pretty high defenses, and they can drop the armor set that they have. Not the armor set, their weapons and... well, their weapons, their armor and or their shield and their sword, which are really, really powerful items that have some nice properties to them. Now, when he does that, this is the Tranquil Walk of Peace spell, which is a miracle we can get later. It makes it so that we can't run or dodge. Oh, that was bad timing. We killed him. Didn't drop any items. That's alright. The shield requires like 50 strength or something ridiculous like that. But it's one of the more powerful shields in the game, at least unupgraded, which you can't upgrade those at all. Oh, roll away. I'm used to killing these guys in one hit because I've usually got an upgraded weapon at this point, but since I'm using the Astora's straight sword, it's not that easy. Now these guys, yeah, there we go. He dropped the item. Oh, tree! Betrayed me, tree. These drop green blossoms. You can buy these later, but at this point in the game, this is the only way you can get them. And what these do is temporary boost of stamina recovery speed. Uniquely bitter biting herb. Annual plant found near water. Certainly was near water. If we look down here, we can see that lake. At least a lake. It might not be the lake I was referring to earlier. Now, there's usually another one of those over here, but I guess he actually came after me or fell off the edge or something. That's alright. You can definitely hear the water down there. Alright, whatever. It's a lake. You can probably see it. I don't know how easy the things to see are here. So, let's go up these stairs, which leads us over to a cave, which leads up here to another one of these guys. Now, I could lightning spear these guys, but if they block it, it will deal no damage, so let's just fight them cautiously. Oh, I thought that would hit him. Oh well. You can avoid this. And actually, while he's doing that, yeah, as you can see, they have pretty high defenses. Okay. I just tried to roll there, forgetting that he cast Tranquil Walk of Peace on me. you pretty much have no recourse but to either back away slowly or block when he has that on you. If somebody uses that on you in PvP and you are mostly trying to dodge, you're screwed. Because, I mean, you can do both, but blocking because of the lag and stuff in PvP is usually a better idea. So here we get a wolf ring. The wolf ring is boosts poise, which is pretty nice for us since we're mostly wearing light armor. So this belonged to Artorius the Abyss Walker. Unmatched with a greatsword. So now that gives us, I think, 40 poise? Yeah, so our poise is up to 52, which means we can tank some hits pretty well. And we don't necessarily want to do that because our armor is not that great. Jump across the gap here, which puts us right next to these snuggly trees here. Fighting any of these. Blood red moss clumps do the same thing the poison does, only with the with bleeding. As I've explained before, bleeding is kind of an effect that you're probably going to die from the normal attacks before bleeding comes into play anyway. So I don't find them to be particularly useful. I think I've died from bleeding once. It's much better in the hands of the player, because you can fight some enemies that are susceptible to bleeding. Most of them are, actually. Some of them that, you know, you would think, like the guys that are made of stone or you know, are obviously constructs or skeletons or something like that. It's pretty easy to guess which ones will not be affected by bleeding. These guys here are not. These stone guardians or whatever they're called. So there's a couple of these down here. Ooh. Let's not get backed into a corner here. Now the reason you're seeing here, like, I'm losing most of my stamina on a hit, is the reason why you want to upgrade your stamina. Not only is it used for attacking and running and dodging, but the more stamina you have, the more attacks you can block. So this is a pretty, an area pretty chock full of items, only one of which is obvious here. See this guy here? It's a snuggle bush in the ground. He wants to hug us, and if we go into this little side area, he activates. There are some upgraded versions of these later. I never really realized that they were stronger because I didn't go into that area until later, by which point I was one-shotting both of them. Okay, so here you can see this kind of snake lizard on this tree. If they hit you, they will deal some poison damage to you and do a slight amount of damage. It's kind of harder to hit this guy with the straight attack, the sword, but you know, you can avoid them. They drop an item, which I didn't get, which is used for something very specific later that a lot of people will never actually come into contact with. Try luring it out. Well, they're talking about that knight, I would assume, who I've just activated. There he is. Ooh. My lock on there was blocked by the tree. Let's be careful about this. With the really slow guys, sometimes it's better to just do a bunch of light attacks rather than do the heavy ones. Especially when they do something like this. Okay. Ending that sequence with so little stamina was not a good idea. Okay. Now, one of the ways you can tell that these guys aren't like undead is because they don't use Estus flasks. And usually enemies that look like these guys, like that Bernecki Knight there, up in the parish, will usually use Estus flasks when damaged that far. They could be undead, but I don't think they are. So here's another one of these lizard guys. Actually, knocked that one off the tree. He didn't drop the item either. It's not that important. So here's another one going up into that doorway. We'll be going there in a moment. Actually, might as well fight this guy now, since I activated him. Now, if you're just wanting to go past him, you can avoid him if you wanted to. He will follow you up the stairs, but they kind of get stuck on stuff. It's easy to underestimate guys like this because they're slow, but these guys will kill you if you... Oh, there, see? He hit me with his attack, but I didn't get staggered. That's because of the poise I have. Let's be cautious here. See there, he probably charged me because I used an Estus flask. Hit him a couple times. I don't like trying to attack them while you have Tranquil Walk of Peace on because I want to have my stamina for blocking. If you had like a target shield on these guys, you would be in pretty bad shape because it's hard to block with those. I don't know if these guys are parryable, but it seems like a bad idea to try to do that. Parrying enemies like this is often more of a risk than you would normally want to take. So, over here, we have one of many dick moves that the game does. You can see that there's a couple of those knights there, and if we look closely, you can see that there's a bunch of those trees clustered around this item. Now we can activate them and run away, or we can just run up and grab the item and fight them later, or just not fight them at all. The smart thing to do would be to just activate them and then run away, because you can get them in two groups, whereas if you pick up the item you will get all of them at once. Walking into the group will summon two of those trees and one of those knights. And they'll usually come at you in a pretty... Oh, I missed with all of those attacks because they jump around. I wanted to kill one before the knight got to me, but I guess I didn't do that. Okay, let's get some distance between us and the... Oh god! You see how much damage I took because I was jumping there? That's bad news, bears. I like having the +2 Estus flask at this point. It makes things a lot better when you have to heal. Heals much more than the heal spell at this point, but I mean, if you have the heal spell, you might as well use it if you have the slots available. So I'm not seeing good openings here, especially not now that I did that. Alright, here seems like a good opportunity. If I were to... Oh, see, that's what I wanted to avoid. I walked into the Tranquil Walk of Peace so I couldn't dodge the attack, and when I tried to dodge the attack, it did the dodge animation, but I wasn't able to do it, and I took a bunch of damage from those attacks. Yeah. The Astora Straight Sword is shorter than most of the straight swords, so you gotta be careful. So if I want to summon the NPC on this boss, which I don't need to do, if you are like a pure melee character, you might want to, but I mean, you could do the boss even with that if you know what to do. You'll see what I mean when we go to do that. But if you summon the NPC here, you can summon it later. If you don't summon it here, you can't summon the NPC for the later boss fight. So let's try the other option since I screwed that up so bad. Run up, pick up the item, then run away. And I only managed to aggro one of the groups, it looks like. Let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and take care of this a bit better. Use a lightning spear on him. Okay, now we're in good shape. So, I probably didn't need to. Where did that guy come from? What? Oh, because I opened the tree. Okay. Excuse me, buddy. What are you doing? Get out of my face, guy. I just activated the other knight. Oops. Oops. I mistimed my block there. So now I'm fighting two of them and a lizard. How often have I done this where I just stumble into guys? I normally don't do this. Okay. Usually I'm pretty good about avoiding that. Okay, so let's, I've already used a lightning spear. Let's take this guy out. So we only have one to deal with. A little bit of stamina to block with. Here we go. And you see the poise kicked in there. So how many lightning spears do I have left? 8? Yeah. 8 Estus flasks. I can do the boss with that. No, there's that other set of guys there, but let's just avoid them. No reason to fight them. And just to demonstrate, you can run right past there. If I were to want to summon the NPC, it would be under here. This boss is so easy that I don't necessarily want to do that. So I can demonstrate what's going on, because the NPC can kill the boss in 3 hits, if you're lucky. So, there are lots of NPCs that completely trivialize the bosses. Now, that guy is active. This is the Moonlight Butterfly. You can see this from earlier in the level. It's kind of floating around. That knight is still there, and if you stand near the door, it will do stuff. So as you can see, it shoots those magic things, and we can throw our spells at it. Do pretty well. Do the other attack. You gotta be careful with Lightning Spear, because you can miss, kinda, with it. Okay. Let's heal up. Got plenty of Estus Flasks. You can get a better shield for this that blocks more magic damage, but I'm pretty fine with this. So after a while, it will move up here, and you can just, like, hit it. Punch it with the thing. I mean, I could hit it with my sword there, but I don't want to. And then, when it does that, you can hit it as a melee character, and then it'll do that explosion, which deals a bunch of damage. I don't want to kill it too quickly, because I want to show off the other things it does. So there, that is one of its most dangerous attacks. You want to dodge sideways or forward, never dodge backwards from those things, because it'll hit you, because it homes in. Now, hopefully I can get it to do the third thing it does. Oh. See how dangerous that is. I tried to roll and I didn't time it correctly. Whatever. I could have killed it much earlier, but decided I wanted to try to get it to do the third thing it does. Which I will still try to do. This is probably the easiest boss in the game. Now that we've gotten those items, which I'll look at in a minute, we can just run past all the enemies here. And actually I can show off that you can see it from down here, past the door. Most of the buses aren't active. I can think of a couple more, but see it, it's over there, sitting on that tower. Get a pretty good look at it here. Okay, let's go take care of them. And I actually have better resources this time. Let's go over and get our souls. If I knock it down to a certain amount of health, it will do the other attack more often. So let's just approach it. Oh man. I'm not doing very well on this. It's the easiest boss in the game, and you die a bunch of times. Yeah, good job, Flying MacGuffin. The hell's wrong with me? It's penance, man. It's karma for getting such good luck on the items in the earlier session. I've gotten no good items and died a bunch of times to an easy boss. Yep. Yeah, I shouldn't have tried to attack then. You're supposed to wait until after it does the animation to do that. It was kind of stupid on my part. It's usually the easier bosses I do die on now that I know what to do, because I don't take them seriously. Whereas the harder bosses I know right away are something I need to take care of as soon as possible. See, there I missed, because it was in one of the weird frames where it's kind of doing something. So let's wait until it attacks. And then throw it. I don't like dodging those because you'll take a bunch of damage if they hit you. I like blocking them instead. You can avoid them by rolling, as I just showed. And don't throw spells at it when it's above you. You'll probably miss. Alright, let's heal up. I'll hit it. I'll hit it once. Actually, let's demonstrate this. Yeah, I want to get it down to a certain point so it'll start doing the other attack. As long as I'm careful, I should be okay. Careful is not something I was before. Do the attack. It's a pretty cool attack, and probably the easiest one to avoid actually, but it looks super dangerous. Nope, that's not it. As you can see, it's kind of speeding up its attack patterns here. Bad plan. The safest place to be is right in front of it. Yeah, there we go. Demonstrate that you don't want to be dodging in the direction it's moving. Do it! Oh, wow. I've never seen it do that. Oh, there I got lucky because I hit the wall. I really shouldn't have been doing that. Oh, that's a different attack. Okay. That's cool. Get to see it do something else. It's not doing the attack I want it to do. Let's deal some more damage to it. Maybe it'll do when it's quite low. Do it. Come on. Got a couple of good patterns there. Are you going to do the attack or not? Oop, that was ill-advised. I'm tired of you. Do it. Oh, come on. You know what? Whatever. It does this giant laser where it sweeps across the thing, and you have to, like, dodge under it. So, for doing that embarrassing boss fight, we get the Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly, 1 humanity, and a fairly ridiculous amount of souls compared to the difficulty of the boss. A lot of times I'll have enough to buy the Crest of Artorias right away, which I will usually do. I could fight some of the golems to get that, I suppose. Wouldn't take very many. They get you like 600 souls apiece, I think. If I do that, I'll do that off screen. So up here, remember that Andre said there's a divine blacksmith that dwells here, and blacksmith accoutrements here, and well, this guy is unfortunately petrified. We pillage his corpse, we get a watchtower basement key, and a divine ember and homerbone. So let's take a look at those items we just picked up. The divine ember for blacksmith weapon ascension can make a standard +5 weapon into a divine weapon. So at this point, I really could turn one of my weapons into a divine weapon. Pretty much making a weapon better than the one I have. And I think that would be a good idea, I suppose. Let's show that off. We're going to give that to Andre. And the Elite Knight set. Helm of a Nameless Knight. Elite Knight of Astora. Went to the Parish of the Undead Asylum and went hollow. This is the gear that the guy who we met at the asylum who gave us our Estus flasks and our keys. The set he was wearing, which looks pretty cool and is really, really good. Unlike a lot of armor sets that are like that, that's a standard piece of gear. You can upgrade that up all the way to +10, and is probably overall for like a player who isn't looking into a lot of different stuff. If you're just going to be wearing a complete armor set, that's one of the best ones. I do end up using the chest piece a lot because it's got a lot of poise and a lot of defense and stuff like that. And is you can upgrade it pretty far. Oh, come on, hit me through the wall. Come on, game. I only have 2 Estus flasks right now. I wonder. Well, it doesn't do anything special. We can go ahead and exploit that if we want. I don't use that in the, you know, same kind of sense as like game exploits, just like use that to our advantage. Looks like he's too clever for us. As I already mentioned, probably, you can get the Crest of Artorias by killing Andre as well. But Andre is far more useful than the actual item itself, considering you can get to that area without using it. There's no reason to kill him to do that. And it is quite difficult. So, what should I do as penance for dying so much in the Moonlight Butterfly? I like to punish myself for doing badly. I'll think of something. I would say that, going to fight the Capra Demon is punishment enough, but, the Capra Demon won't be particularly hard for this character. I know I said I was going to do this off-screen, but, you know. I'm just kind of walking through the area. Did you drop any items? Nope. I do have some soul items on me. I don't really have to kill any guys off-screen. I might as well use them. It's not like there's any reason to keep most of them around. Keeping the most basic ones around does give you a slight soul boost later, but it's at that point you're getting so many souls from other items. Oh, yeah. This. Well, this is annoying enough that I could consider it a penance. Walk in here, pick this up, and 3 trees spawn. Hey! And every time you walk past here now, these guys will activate. You know, I'm going back to a bonfire. Spear! Oh god. Whew! I survived that because I was mashing the buttons, so you can escape a grab sooner if you spam the buttons. I'm not sure which ones. I just push all of them. Praise the sun. That's right. Oh, what that looks like. The Praise the Sun animation. Which we will equip to... No, we need a T-bow. Ah, that one's stupid. I'll show that off before I get rid of it. Praise the sun. Why didn't you do it? Do the animation. Oh. So I should probably be, okay for souls. Do I want to do the Darkroot Basin stuff before I... No, not before I go get that sort of thing. I'll do that afterwards. And because I have the Watchtower key, I can go in from the other direction as well. Whoa! Actually, that leads pretty well into the area I want to go to. So maybe I should do that. Okay. I've convinced myself. We will do the Capra Demon after we do Darkroot Basin then. I do want to go talk to Andre first, since I have a present for him. Yeah, I do really like the straight sword stuff. Maybe I should just make a divine longsword and use the other element things for making examples of the other weapons. Although I won't be using those most of the game. It's kind of a tough choice. Kind of a tough choice. And since this is going to be the main weapon I'm going to be using for the rest of the game, really, a divine weapon, there are slightly better versions of the longsword that you can get. As a matter of fact, if you kill Solaire, he will drop a slightly upgraded longsword. It's a little bit heavier, but it deals more damage. And the elite, the Balder Knights drop a sword that it could be pretty good if I had the dexterity to do it, but I guess we'll just go with the longsword.
That's a rare ember you have there. I've seen one of those before. It's the ember of a divine blacksmith. Might you consider leaving that with me? I can produce divine weapons with a flame such as that.
So we'll be finding various embers throughout the game, and you can give them to the different blacksmiths. There's one to give to Rickard, actually. He does sorcerer weapons, the intelligence. I think they're called magical and enchanted.
Well, thanks for that. You've made a fine decision. You soon shall see.
There's nothing else you can do with them. You might as well give them to their respective blacksmiths. So let's go ahead and reinforce this longsword, I guess. So it only costs 200 souls at this point. We want to get it up to +5, which we have enough, not quite enough things to do. So we can now buy some Titanite shards. Let's get 2 of those, which is what we need. Reinforce this to +5, and now we can actually ascend it if we had a green Titanite shard.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
The area we're going into next, we can get those. After the basin, I guess. Since we're going to be doing that now. But notice that the longsword now has 120 damage instead of 80. And when you convert that to holy, it will change again. So, right now, against enemies that are resistant to magical damage, that will actually do more. And it's slightly longer, so it has a better attack range than this. This is quite short for a straight sword. It's not quite as short as a short sword, but let me see if I'm actually right. Now that I'm thinking about it, this could be the same length as a normal straight sword, long sword. Let's see. This is a Stora's sword. No, that's definitely longer. Okay. I know the actual attack range is longer, but it may not look longer. There are many weapons like that that have deceptive attack ranges. So, if we go this way into the Darkroot Garden, go down along here. Don't fall off the cliff here. Up ahead there, we can see a glowing thing. That is actually a crystal gecko. So let's bum rush him. Oftentimes you will not be able to get to them before they disappear, but hopefully we can. Hey, I got him. They like burrow into the ground. Oh, I could have gotten a green Titanite chunk from them. I guess it doesn't really help. Wouldn't drop a shard. Now that I think of it. So down here, just kind of wind along this path. And we can drop down here and get a... I think this is the first starting set we can find. The leather set and a longbow. Which is not what the hunter starts with. They start with these leather sets, which is very simple in its descriptions. Not much to look at. I think the gloves are significantly better than what we're wearing, so we'll put those on. But for the most part, it's pretty comparable to the rest of it. So, let me just drop down here. And the way we're supposed to go is that way, and there's that tower I was talking about. But we could go this way. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to be meeting a friend down here. So, be careful, it kind of looks odd. There's an item right down there, but there's somebody guarding it. This is a Black Knight who has a halberd. There we go. Ooh. Now this is a pretty tough place to fight them. The halberd Black Knight's pretty easy. If you go on a slope below them, they can barely hit you at all. But you can also kind of take advantage of the upper and lower areas. I'm having a hard time backstabbing this guy to get the drop on them, quite literally. And as you can see, it doesn't deal as much damage as the other things. Oh, I don't want to knock him off the edge. That would be cheesy and stupid. It's the easiest way of killing this guy, actually. And a lot of times he will jump off the edge. Yeah. I've got enough stamina and stability on my shield to block most of his attacks. Oh. That was close. I almost fell off the edge there. I haven't looked backstabbing at all. Okay, let's back up away from here. Oh, ha ha ha. That was close. There we go. I was trying to do this before with the first Black Knight I fought on the stairs in Undeadburg, but this guy's is slightly easier to do that with. There we go. And he's done. No big deal. He can drop his weapon, which is really good, but he drops Blue Titanite Chunk. And here we get the Grass Crest Shield. This is one of the best shields in the game, because it has a special property that speeds stamina recovery. It says slightly, but it's significant enough that it's very, very noticeable. It has decent magic block. Stability is lower, so I'm not going to be using this. And it has 95% physical block, which I don't like. It's really, really good if you are wanting to two-hand weapons, because you can just stick it on your back and just, you know, have the weapon around. So, this has a bonfire here.